Everyone thinks Batavia is just a town you drive through on the way to somewhere else. But if you actually stop downtown, eat here, walk the river, grab a drink, it quietly becomes one of those places you just never want to leave. You see, I help people move to Batavia and the surrounding Chicago suburbs, and today I'm walking you through downtown Batavia the way us locals experience it. That way, when you come to visit, you'll know exactly where to eat, shop, and really embrace downtown living here. Now, the first time I experienced this, I was blown away. I kept seeing posts about it, people talking about the experience, so I went to see it firsthand with my family. And as soon as we got onto the street, we saw people carrying bags with fresh meat, sourdough bread tucked under their arm, coffee in hand, people just stopping at all different tents to taste food from the local businesses. It felt less like shopping and more kind of like a community hangout. You see, reading a post or hearing about it could not compare to the feeling of being in Batavia's amazing farmers market, which they hold every Saturday from 8 to noon, May through October. I was trying out some amazing sauces from awesome places like Jindo's. I tried out coffee from Dapper Brews with this little antique coffee truck. We got some meat from the local farmers down the street. You could come back week after week and try so many different vendors, which is kind of why I put this on my calendar every Saturday morning. Now, if you want to know whether you'd actually enjoy living here, come during a farmer's market and really embrace it. Now, by the way, if you're thinking of relocating to Chicago or the suburbs, this is what I do every single day. So feel free to give me a call right here. And as a parent of two little humans, the first thing I look to every morning is coffee shops. And we're not talking Starbucks or Dunkin's. I'm talking local coffee places. You see, mornings downtown are quiet. They're not empty. You'll see people walking the river, pushing strollers, dogs on leashes, runners finishing a loop before they get to work. The coffee shops, that's when they start to pile up here. People sitting by the windows with their laptops, often just grabbing a cup of coffee on their way to start the day. You won't see a Starbucks in sight here, but what you will see is Limestone Coffee and Tea, which is that local steady rhythm. Familiar faces, casual conversations, people taking their time instead of rushing out the door. It feels calm, welcoming, and very Batavia. Now, if you didn't know, Batavia was founded by limestone quarries in like 1836, which is a great way for a business to tie its name into the town's history and pay great homage to the amazing, quaint feeling here. Now, if coffee isn't your jam, but breakfast is, this is where locals really start showing up now. You'll smell it before you see it. Griddles are going, coffee's pouring, plates hit the tables. You probably know where I'm going with this, but these are the top 3 places I'd be checking out. The first being Daddy-O's Diner, which is a pure classic breakfast energy vibe here. The booths are filled, regulars chat, servers know you by name, and it's just pancakes, eggs, and comfort food done the right way. And then you've got Brianna's, which is a little more polished, still relaxed, but a lot of times breakfast turns into brunch here, right? And brunch turns into staying longer than you really plan. Now, this place just feels like another classic breakfast place. And you can't go wrong with that when you're looking for that specific vibe. And last but not least is Andre's Restaurant, which is just down the street. It's another place I've been to over 10 times, but not for the food like you'd think. It was to fix an issue. You see, in my past life, I was a cable tech, climbing poles and fixing things. And ComEd had an issue with this business, and I kind of stumbled into them on accident. But I'm kind of grateful too. The food is great, it's local family owned, which you couldn't ask for better, and there's a great view right of the river if you sit by the windows. You see, breakfast in downtown Batavia, it feels classic, it's simple, it's not over the top. It has that local hometown feel, so if you're looking for that, this has probably got you. This is the kind of downtown where breakfast spots, they're not just restaurants, they really are part of people's routines, and people know you by name. Now, as the day moves on, downtown Batavia definitely shifts with it. The lunch crowd rolls in, dinner plans start to form, and it just changes a bit. Every time I was in Batavia, I would stop at my favorite restaurant, maybe 2-3 times a week, no joke. I'd walk in, I'd see the owner or the son, and they'd always say, "Do you want your same seat, your same order, or do you want to see the menu?" You see, I came here for peace during the day, but I really enjoyed the food. The lunch specials, the hot and sour soup, the egg rolls with that spicy horseradish sauce, the best. And you see, the service was truly the reason I stopped here every time. Now you might be asking, where were you, Jay? Well, I was at East China Inn. And luckily for you, there's 5 locations that they own. So you can go many places here. Now, if you're a Mexican food lover like me, then you're probably asking, where can I get some good tacos? Because that's kind of what I'm always asking when I'm in a new place. This place I probably go to at least once a week with my wife, and I can always tell when we're gonna go. The wife walks in from work, she looks at me, and neither one of us want to cook. So the first thought is, let's get some Mexican food. The burritos, tacos, quesadillas, tortas, I've tried them all, and to be honest, I don't have a favorite here because I kind of love them all. What can I say? Just love the food. This place is right off Wilson and Island, and if you're walking around, you're gonna look for it, and the sign says Taqueria El Sazon. At least that's how I think you say it. Let's finish this lunch section off with a place that has just a different vibe. I didn't even know this place existed until I stumbled into it. It's a mix of a beer garden, old school dive bar that I kind of enjoyed in my 20s, and it's unique. It fits right in with the history of downtown. They offer more classic American food, wings, burgers, sandwiches, soups and salads. Now this place is tucked back right on River Street next to a parking garage, and it's not flashy, but you'll still really enjoy it. So head down this brick-lined street and look for the Sidecar Supper Club. As night sets in, downtown Batavia settles into itself. Here's a few places you might enjoy for dinner. But before we get into that, if you're finding yourself having questions about the Chicago market, give me a call or sign up for my weekly emails right here or here, where I keep you updated on the market, local shops, places to check out, and so much more. Now, if it hits 5 or 6 p.m. and I haven't eaten yet, let's be real, I'm probably gonna be super hangry. So here's a few places I've eaten many times, and you should too. Now, you don't talk about Chicago and not talk about pizza or pubs, right? Which brings me to one of our go-to places when we're craving just a few beers and a nice pizza. This place is always packed with the option of sitting at the bar, the high top, or a table. They offer build your own, or they have their own special pizzas. I'm gonna go for the Italian beef grinder or the Don, but try out one of your own and let me know which one is your favorite. Now, if pizza isn't your thing, but you want a few beers and something different, they have an array of other options. You won't be disappointed. Their menu is very large, so you have a ton of options here. And their beer menu is pretty awesome too. I don't know about you, but growing up in an Italian household, I crave pasta just about every day. It's a struggle, I absolutely swear. But luckily for me, the next place, they just relocated from the west side of Batavia right downtown. So it's closer when you go for a downtown stroll. And you're gonna need that after about 10 pounds of pasta. Now they offer things from classic chicken parms, mostaccioli, fettuccine, and they even have pizza if you wanna keep it super simple. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you probably realized I like to eat. And let's be real, when you get married, there's one text you can count on from your significant other, and it's always gonna be, what's for dinner, right? You see, downtown Batavia works because it gives you options. Fun, casual, classic, and familiar, all within walking distance. You'll see people finishing dinner, heading out for another drink, walking along the river when the weather's nice. Not when it's freezing, that would suck. So you're probably saying, it's been a long week, Jay. Where should I grab a drink and relax? And I probably have a few places you're gonna enjoy. So let's check them out or dive into them, whichever. I'm sure you've seen breweries have exploded over the last few years, and it's basically the new vibe. Now, with a great variety of beers from IPAs, stouts to lagers, my favorite wheat ales, you're gonna have a great selection, and it's situated right on the river, which makes this the best backdrop for a night out with your friends. Now, you won't be able to miss the place. It's right off Shumway and Wilson, basically downtown, and you just look for this old classic limestone building with a huge sign. It says Sturdy Shelter Brewing right on top. Now, this next place is probably my preferred place to go, as they have a variety of my favorite drinks, and that's gonna be old fashions, right? So whether you want traditional or tequila based, they have you covered, along with a huge whiskey list and some cocktail options if you wanna kind of keep it sweet. Now, if you're looking for the late night snacks, they have you covered as well. It's a simple but effective two-sided menu, burgers, wings, some mac and cheese, and that's just to name a few. Now, you can't miss this place. It's got tinted black windows when you walk by it, with a huge lit up white sign that says, The Goat. Now, you're not going to catch me in the bars nearly as often in my late 30s. I'll be honest with you. With a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old, life just looks a little bit different for me. But what you'll always see me in is my favorite dessert place because, well, my daughter cons me into it like every day. Literally right next to Taqueria El Sazon that we covered earlier in the video, in the heart of downtown, is my daughter's favorite place. And you probably figured it out by now, but it's an ice cream shop. I grew up during Baskin-Robbins time, which is pretty much the same as this place feels. It's another amazing locally owned place, and you'll even catch the owner in there from time to time scooping an ice cream, and you won't even know who it is. There's nothing better than lifting up your little humans, you know, they're tiny, and letting them pick out their favorite flavors right through the glass, and just hanging out on the patio. You won't be able to miss this place in the spring or summer, because kids are always trying to get you to honk your horn while you're driving by. That's how you know where you are. Situated right on Wilson is Batavia Creamery. Try it out, and you will definitely thank me later. So you might be asking, who is downtown Batavia really for? Downtown Batavia clicks with people who want the walkability without the crazy crowds. They value community, locally owned businesses over big box retailers that we kind of get tired of. And they like routines, familiar faces, and they don't want to drive everywhere, where you can just have a really good night out, all in 1 or 2 streets. Most people don't realize how much they'll use downtown until they live here. And then they realize they can't live without it. If you're thinking about making the move to Batavia or anywhere in the western Chicago suburbs, downtown is something you should probably experience in person before you ever decide. And if you want to know which neighborhoods to look at because you're thinking of making a move, check out this video where I deep dive into some of my favorite neighborhoods that hit every price point. And I'll see you in the next one.